Welcome indeed to another edition of Jokers Wild, our weekly battle of wits between two teams of comedians, in which they battle for this, our Jokers Wild trophy, exactly modelled on one of Liberace's earplugs. And now I'm going to introduce our two teams, and I wish I hadn't said that. I'm going to introduce our two teams. First, our resident captain, the one, the only, Ted Ray.
Good evening, ladies and
with
gentlemen.
Ray Martine and Sid James. And battling against them on this occasion, we have Captain Les Dawson.
Good evening.
Jack Douglas and Clive Dunn. Good evening. The rules are very simple. Each one of our comedians will be asked to tell a joke. The jokes come in cards out of these boxes, ladies and gentlemen, and if a member of the opposing team thinks he knows the joke, he can interrupt. Both the teller and the interrupter can score points. We'll play the game, and you'll soon see how we get on as we start with our very own Ted Ray.
Yeah.
Ted, I press the button, and has somebody else come on? I test the button. I've invented a new word. I press the button, and your subject...
for yourself!
Ladies and gentlemen, your very own hairdressers.
You must be joking. Hairdressing jokes. Oh, my goodness. Well, I occasionally have a short back and sides, and I was in the hairdressers the other day.
Interruption by Les Dawson,
That's a short
spinster
back
of this
and quick.
parish.
And the fella came in. He's a very good barber, this fellow, isn't he? Bert Ompelcrumb.
The name, please?
Ompelcrumb.
Ompelcrumb.
Ompelcrumb Cassidy.
I see.
And this fella went in and he said, "You're a good barber." He said, "But why are your hands always so filthy?" The barber said, "Well, nobody's asked for shampoo yet."
It's too early, Leslie, too early. 2 points to Les Dawson. Ted, back to you. Was that your story?
Yes.
Oh.
But no.
No.
Oh, no, you nearly had me there by the fetlock. No, this barber had a small place with 3 chairs, you know, all those old magazines, and a very smart-looking fellow came in a blue serge suit, business type, you see, and he said, and the barber said, "Shan't be long, sir." He said, "No, there's 3 waiting, I'll come back." And he went out. And the next day, the same thing happened. He came in, and there, you know, with the 3 people waiting, and the barber said, "Shan't be a moment," and he said, "It's all right." Went on for a fortnight. So the barber became rather intrigued with the whole setup, you see, and so he said to his assistant, he said, "The next time that fellow comes in, follow him and see where he goes, because it's rather strange. He can't wait 3 minutes, you know." So this fellow came in the following week, and barber said, "Just a moment." He said, "It's all right." He said, "Follow him." So the kid went, took off his white apron, on the jacket, went. He came back and he said, "Where'd he go?" He said, "Your house."
I think that's 4 points. I'll put you 2 points ahead there, Ted. And it's Les Dawson. Les, you... Mutter. They can't tell talk from mutter. Les Dawson, your first subject, sport.
Sport. Well, I come from a sporting family.
Obviously.
Points.
I'm sorry,
May I
Les.
say one thing? Give 1 point to Puff the Magic Dragon. But I come from a sporting...
Just for that, I'll give him 2. Go on, Les.
You deserved it, Ray.
No, I come from a sporting family. My grandfather was a boxer, my grandmother was a cocker spaniel. But my uncle George used to put the shot. He was in line for the Olympics till we saw where he was putting it. And it's not widely known that I once did 100 yards wearing steel-tipped boots. In 10 seconds, I fell down a lift shaft. But the greatest athlete in our family, without a shadow of a doubt, was cousin Bartholomew. Marvellous weightlifter. In 1 year, he lifted 950 pounds and gained 3 excellent credits and a hernia. The last time I saw him was in the local swimming baths in Dewsbury. He was lying at the bottom of the deep end, and I said to the attendant, I said, isn't it marvellous, Cousin Bartholomew holding his breast like that? He said, marvellous? He's a show-off. I said, how do you mean he's a show-off? He said, he's been down there a month.
I must keep it a needle match. 3 points to Les Dawson.
Isn't it?
5 points to Les Dawson's team. Ray Martin, your subject, driving.
Driving. Oh, Ted, before I go any further, Barry, my sister married an Irishman.
Oh, really?
No, O'Reilly. Anyway,
Do we get a point for that?
ladies and
really,
gentlemen,
no.
before I come
O'Reilly.
to my joke, I must tell you that the Tailor and Cutter, the magazine of tailors, named Les Dawson last week as a disaster area. He lost his raincoat. He came into the dressing room the other night. He said, Ray, I've lost my, raincoat. I said, never mind. Somebody will find it. Not too many people walk around wearing a tarpaulin.
Driving.
Feeling must have been intense.
Yes. Stop camping about.
Camping about, I love it. 4 points. Please.
Driving. Oh, this fella's driving along, and a policeman stops him in the car, and he looks at this fella. He says, "You're mad." He said, "Stop." He said stop, and then he said, "You're mad." He said, "Stop." He said, "You're mad." He said, "Why?" He said, "Well, you've just gone down past the roadworks. You've knocked all the red lamps over into a hole." He said, "And you've just gone through the lights on amber. What's your game?" For want of a better expression. He said, the fella said, "I'm Joe Davis, the champion snooker player. And I've potted all the reds and I'm going out for the colours."
Yes!
Shouldn't be allowed. What was wrong with that?
I'm going to ask the audience. Do you think 3 points or 4? Will you shout?
What?
That's better.
You have
How many?
friends here.
3?
You have friends. 4.
4. The fours have it. This is democracy. 4 to Ray Martin.
Thank you very much.
And we move to the opposition candidate, Jack Douglas. And I press the button, and the card says birds.
Birds.
Yes.
Birds. Aha! Yes. Yes, there was this tramp, you see, who had a pet bird, and the bird died. So the tramp...
Interruption by Ray Martin.
If I may.
Certainly, miss.
And you've most...
Change this program to "This Is Your Wife."
I know, but actually, you and Les Dawson deserve one another. I don't give it 3 weeks. No. This is one about the fella goes into a pet shop, Jack, and he says to the pet owner, he says, "Have you got a canary who's a beautiful singer?" The fella says, "Yeah, there's a canary over there who's a beautiful singer." But it's and the fella looks at the canary. He says. He looks at the pet owner and looks at the canary. He says, "But this canary's only got 1 leg." He said, "What do you want, a singer or a tap dancer?" Oh, that was sweet. It was sweet.
Pausing only to clean out the bottom of the cage. That's 2 points to Ray Martin. Jack Douglas, was that your story?
Points. No. By
No.
one, I hope we'll get a laugh. No, this story is about the tramp, as I say. The bird died, so the tramp realised that he'd have to get work. He couldn't live off the bird anymore. So he knocked at the door. He knocked at the door of this public house and he said, "Please, sir," he said, I don't want any charity, but I have no money and I have not eaten for a week. Could you give me some work? I can't do very much, but I do play an excellent piano." So the publican thought, well, we need a pianist in the pub. Good idea. So he put him to work at opening time, and sure enough, he sits there playing away, and in seconds, the clouds are... Excuse me, it's the teeth. They're the wife's. In a second, the whole of the room is tapping their feet and singing and having a wonderful time. The publican turns to his wife and says, "What about that?" She says, "Marvellous, we must keep him on. But you'll have to do something about those trousers of his." She says, "Well, go up and tell him about it." So the wife goes up and said, "Excuse me a second." He's playing away. He said, "Yes, what is it?" She said, "Do you know your bottom's showing through your trousers?" He said, "No, you whistle the few first bars, I'll follow you."
I will give Jack Douglas 4 points for that, and now we come to our solo spot, in which case we leave our game for 1 minute. 60 seconds, literally. And we asked one of our comedians to step out here in front of our studio audience and see how many laughs he can get in those 60 seconds. We need a subject, ladies and gentlemen. We've got it. It's drink. And I'm going to ask Ted Ray to pick a member of Les Dawson's team to talk about drink.
Well, of course, you know, Ray and I have connived many times about this.
It's legal now.
No, they can't catch you for it.
It's legal, but it's not compulsory. As
Not in your case.
But I think a bloke, really, a bloke I'm terribly fond of, and we haven't worked together for a long time, dear old Sid. I think I'm going to ask Sid, have you got a coin on you, Sid?
Yeah.
Get a coin. We'll toss up for this and let you be the arbiter of this. Right. Now, we'll say it's heads, Les Dawson,
Yeah.
and tails, Clive Dunn. Toss it up. What is it?
Jack Douglas.
Jack Douglas, come on. Come on. Jack Douglas. Come on. Oh. Hello, hello. Never travels without
Here
it.
come the props. Eddie
I
Cantor. Eddie Cantor. Oh, hello. It's going to be Ken Dodd.
Oh.
It's Doddy.
He's at it.
It's Doddy time. Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, before your very eyes, it is not Jack Douglas. I realise now he never travels without all that. It's Alf Epititimus. I believe on the subject of drink for 1 minute, starting now.
Good evening, ladies, and what you have with you. Tonight, I should like to do a commercial live from Bradford television station. Ah, yes, the lights just come on. Does that mean however, now, this is a drink, Guzzler's Gin, with what? Which is actually one of the smoothest drinks to ever be drunken by anybody. Guzzler's Gin is a smooth gin. I should like to show party my gin, but by just showing you what a smooth drink. Guzzler's Gin is a smooth gin. One of the... what the hell am I doing? It's one of the smoothest drinks that you chin up. Why can't I Good.
Not so much a gin, more a tonic. We'll be back with Alf Epititimus's single scorer. More of the game in just a minute. See you then. Quite a commercial at the end of part one, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Douglas, alias Fred Epititimus, guzzled his way to 11 laughs in 60 seconds.
Oh,
And as it was Jack's turn in the game proper when we left it in part one, we now go to Sid James. Sid,
Yes.
your subject, television.
Television. Ah, yes. Now. Oh, God.
What's that all about? Interruption by Clive Dunn before he'd started.
Pardon?
I said interruption. Interruption by Mr. Clive Dunn.
Oh, sorry. Since you introduced me at the beginning of the programme, I've been on a fortnight's holiday to Mallorca. What I wanted to say was that I know I've seen him in a film. I've seen him in a film.
Oh, God, bloody.
Yes, I remember that film. That Doctor's Too Large, I think it was called.
What are you talking about? That's not a joke.
I know, I've seen the film.
I'm not... I am not scoring that interjection, Mr. Dunn. We go back to Sidney Balmoral James.
Television.
To continue his joke.
Yes.
Well, it's marvellous how television can interfere with your lives and how it can affect you. I mean, my mother-in-law, for instance, she never takes her eyes off the box, and she loves the westerns most of all. She just can't stop looking at them. She never misses a western. She came home the other night, Spurs on. Only Spurs. Anyway, she got herself a job in a hospital as a panhandler. Oh, you know what a panhandler is? Well, she's very illiterate. She really doesn't know the difference between a bedpan and a vase, you see. So, walking through the ward... No, shut up a minute. She's walking through the ward and one of the patients calls, "Excuse me, can I have a bedpan?" She says, "Yes, dear. What size is your bouquet?"
I'll give that 4 on the temperature chart from Sydney there. And we go to Clive Dunn. Yeah. Clive, your next subject. Sailing.
Snailing?
Sailing.
Oh, sorry, sailing. You're sailing. Yes, well, I borrowed a yacht from...
Interruption by Sid James.
You did right. That film was lousy. I wasn't in it.
I like these moments, but we don't score for them. Back to Clive Dunn.
I'm beginning to enjoy that film more every moment. Yes, so I borrowed this yacht from a friend of mine.
Oh.
Pardon?
Sorry.
It was...
Interruption by Jack's knuckle. It was a bit near the knuckle, Jack.
It was, Can I interrupt
Interruption
myself?
by Clive Dunn.
I borrowed this yacht from a friend of mine, a gentleman called Sir William Shine. It was a nice little craft called the Crepe de Shine, and there I was, standing on the poop. Well, not on it. You wouldn't want to stand on a thing like that, so I went and stood near the coxswain, and he spoke to me. He said, he was in a funny mood that day. Anyway, the sun was shining and the waves were waving and the wind was... Well, we'd had radishes for breakfast. And when we got to Calais Harbour, the poor little craft sort of foundered in a lot of... So I rolled up my feet and paddled ashore. And when I got to shore, a little Frenchman came out to me, a little Gallic. He was more of a Gallic Gaul. He was a French Gallic Gaul. He came running out to me and he said, "Are you interested in a blonde lady?" I said, "No, I want the harbour master." He said, "Very difficult, but I'll try."
I'll give that 4. 4 points for Mr. Dunn. 4 points for Mr. Dunn. Back to the top of the table. Ted, your next subject. Hotels.
We're in the lead, so let's try and reinforce it, eh? Hotels, yeah. Well, millions of hotel jokes. This fellow comes into this hotel, and unfortunately, he'd been hitting the bottle pretty heavily, and he'd been to his doctor, and the doctor said, "Go away to a small hotel, but whatever you do, don't drink." He said, "Well, what can I do, doctor?" He said, "I'm addicted to the grape." He said, "You know, it's awful, really." He said, "Don't do it." He said, "I'll tell you a lovely cure. It's very difficult. You must do it. Whenever someone says to you, 'What are you going to have some food.' And you will find, and this is true, ladies and gentlemen, if you have this trouble, that the more you eat, the less you want to drink." So he went in the bar, and to his horror, there were 3 of his closest friends there on a golfing holiday. So they said, "Hello, Charlie, what are you having?" And he said, "Oh, sardines on toast, please." And they looked rather strangely. And this fellow said, "Well, 2 large scotches, 1 gin and tonic, well, stout," nearly said the name, and sardines on toast. And they served the order. So it came the next fellow's turn. He said, "What are you going to have?" And he said, 2 large gins. "And you?" He said, "Oh, could I have, I don't know, mushrooms on toast?" And they looked rather strangely. But this is the way it went on. Of course, by the time the session had gone, they'd all had a lot of drink, and he was full with food, and he went to bed. And to his horror, he found that some fellow had gone into his room and committed suicide, shot himself, and was lying all over the bed. And it shook him rigid. He was so shocked. He dashed downstairs and said to the night porter, "You won't believe it," he said, "but there's a man just committed suicide in my room." He said, "Please, bring me ham and eggs, quick."
I like that. I like that. Very Mr.
Well, you can't win them all.
I'll score that 4. I like that. 4 points to Ted Ray. So glad you didn't name the stout. You didn't name the stout in that joke, did you?
The
Ted?
longer you think about that, the funnier it gets.
Yes, I know. Well, we'll come back to the audience to score later.
Yes.
I was just relieved you didn't mention the name of the stout.
Yes.
Because it used to be worth about 20 guineas in the old days if you mentioned the stout. We go to Les Dawson. Les Dawson, your next subject, nightclubs.
Well, my mother-in-law's got a nightclub. It's 4 foot long with a nail through the end. I wish.
Is that it?
Thank you. No, but recently I played a nightclub in Scunthorpe called the Copacabana Tropicana. It took some fun, and it was underneath a viaduct with the sound of a blouse factory. It was a big place, you know, even the mice wore St Christopher medals, but the terrible audience. On the opening night, they were stood up booing one another. I got really depressed. One fellow was clapping. I said, thanks for clapping. He said, I'm not clapping, I'm slapping my head to keep awake. So I went to the bar and I was absolutely really low. And I ordered a drink, and just then a little fellow walked in with the biggest ears I've ever seen. I had to laugh, he looked like a wingnut. So, light-heartedly, I said to the woman behind the bar, I said, have you seen the size of that fella's ears? And she pulled me across the bar. She threatened me with a pickle fork. She said, what did you say about my husband's ears? I said, nothing, don't they suit him?
Oh, went very quiet. 3 points. 3 points to Leslie. Quickies, gentlemen. We leave our game very quickly once again for a quick joke on any subject from each and every one of you. Jokers Wild, we start with Ted Ray.
Well, this fella was told by the doc... No, I can't do that again. No, I'd like to ask a question of this audience tonight. Why can't they stick pins in spiders when they sew buttons on flies?
3.
Thank you.
Good night. That's a cogent question. Ray Martin.
Cogent question.
Yes. Oh, you're asking me a joke. There's a new German bra out. Well, there's 2 of them. One is called Wholesome from Flopping, and the other one is called Stoppen Flopping.
2, 1 for each cup. Sidney James.
Give yourself 5.
That's it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Gestapo.
Gestapo who?
We ask the questions.
Hey! 4 points to Sidney. 4 points to Sid James. Les Dawson. Les Dawson.
I've got a funny feeling that my mother-in-law's colourblind, because she went out last night and painted the town brown.
3 to Leslie. Jack. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
That joke. Jack Douglas.
Barry, do you know what the 12-stone budgerigar said?
No, Jack.
Cheap!
4. 4 to Jack Douglas, and it's Clive Dunn. Clive Dunn.
We're going to give you an exhibition of old Morris dancing tonight. Unfortunately, old Morris isn't feeling good.
3 to Clive. And, ladies and gentlemen, I declare on this occasion Ted Ray's team the winners. So will you say goodbye for now to Captain Ted Ray,
Bye.
Ray Martin,
Hello.
and Sid James. And gallant losers, Captain Les Dawson, Jack Douglas, and Clive Dunn. Good night. My name's Barry Cryer. I'm going to ask winning Captain Ted Ray to pick up the trophy on this occasion, Ted, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.